Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Do you like my new setup? I am going to use this setup for a while now, till the time I go to my hostel, and then may or may not continue to use it. But for now, I hope you like this new setup. I am trying to experiment a little bit. So today's video is the one video I promised a little while ago, but I never actually got around to doing it. So finally, I'm going to be comparing the two new Kajal launches from Maybelline and L'Oreal. The Maybelline one is called the Maybelline Colossal Super Black, and the L'Oreal Kajal Magique Bold, this one. I have used these both extensively, and I think it's finally time that I show you what they look like. So before I demo these on my eyes, I'm just going to swatch them at the back of my hand, and we're going to proceed that way. So let's quickly get started, alright? On this eye, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Kajal Magique Bold. Now this one retails for 350 rupees, and I had really high hopes from this one because I liked the original Kajal Magique a lot. In fact, I did not like the original Maybelline Colossal at all, but I loved the Kajal Magique, so I had really high expectations. And this is what one single swatch looks like. It's pretty black. It's not patchy, it's quite creamy, and it swatches rather beautifully at the back of my hand. The Maybelline one retails for 300 rupees, and of course you can find discounts everywhere, but I'm just talking about the MRP. It retails for 300 rupees, and I'll just swatch this right next to it. There you have it. This is Maybelline, the second one over here. Swatched at the back of my hand, both have pretty decent pigmentation. In fact, pretty much you can't really tell which is which. I mean, I know what I swatched where, but other than that, if you had just shown this to me, I would not be able to tell which is more pigmented and which is not. Now, let's just quickly demo them on the eyes. I would typically use a kajal just on my waterlines, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm also going to apply it to my top eyelid. First, I'm showing you the L'Oreal Kajal Magique, and I'm just going to first tight line with this on my lower lash line. It's a pretty okay kajal. I feel that on the waterline, the original Kajal Magique is a little more pigmented than this one is, but overall it's not really an upgrade on the waterline. Now when I tight line with this, it's an automatic thing. I always go multiple times when I'm tight lining. I never just try to do it in one swatch. And as I can see it in the mirror right here, it's the same thing as on the waterline. It doesn't come off as pigmented as I think the original Kajal Magique used to. And even if it does come off as pigmented, it is not any more pigmented than that. However, I mean, it's okay. It's an okay kajal. On my eyelid, I'll just quickly show you how I like to do it. This is what it looks like on my eyelid. Again, the pigmentation is a little bit better at the back of my hand over here than it is on my eyelid. Next up, let's move on to the Maybelline one. Now, as I said, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I do like this one better, and I'll just quickly tell you why. So when I apply it as a kajal, I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up, but in real life I can tell that this is a lot more pigmented on my lower waterline than the other one is. And overall, the swatch on my hand is a better representation of what it's going to be on the waterline than the L'Oreal one. On my tight line, On the upper waterline or while I'm tightlining, again the pigmentation is much higher with this one than it is with the L'Oreal Magique Bold. The original Colossal was only Blair for me because it used to smudge everywhere, it used to irritate my eyes, and it used to make my eyelids stick when I close them and then when I open them. However, this one is very smooth. It doesn't do that. It just doesn't move like that. It doesn't stick my eyelids together like that. And overall, it's definitely an upgrade for me from the original Colossal, which I used to hate. As an eyeliner, my apologies, I got this one very thick because I'm not used to applying a Kajal style eyeliner on the top lids, and therefore I did this one to match. I hope you guys can see that again on this side the application is a lot more pigmented than it is on this side. Even though the camera might not be picking up, on the hand you can't tell one swatch from the other, but on the eyelid definitely this one seems to be a lot more pigmented. Now, if you take these swatches and you run your fingers across them, then both of them are pretty smudge proof, as you can see. It's only if I really rub them while they're still a little bit wet that these will move at all. But other than that, it's pretty smudge proof at the back of my hand. Now for the actual review, you guys, as I mentioned before, the L'Oreal one that I have applied on this eye is 350 rupees and this one is 300 rupees. However, according to my use over time, I have found that this is not as long lasting on the eyes as a kajal, as a tight line, or even as an eyeliner, even though, as you guys can probably tell, I'm not very good at using this as an eyeliner. It's not the best because it does smudge a lot faster than this one does. This one I have known to last all day, especially on my eyelid, but even on my waterline, even though the waterline, as the name suggests, is very watery. So even then this lasts a lot longer. Sorry, this one lasts a lot longer than this one does. Moving on to how it is packaged, they both come in cardboard-ish kind of packaging like this. And this has, like this one does, it's almost the same packaging. The L'Oreal one says that this is 25% more concentrated in black pigments versus the other Kajal Magique in comparison to, and each stroke glides effortlessly to deliver vivid black line. It says that more extraordinary care. Its formula contains 2 times more vitamin E and is gentle on the eye. Again, this is in comparison with the old Kajal Magique. Then it says that it creates an intense line with 1 or 2 strokes on the waterline. Complete your bold look by adding a thick line on the upper lid. Now, it is not more concentrated in black pigments. Even if it is, it doesn't translate on the eye. It is the same as the last one. Each stroke does not glide effortlessly to deliver a vivid black line. That is just not true. It might be true at the back of my hand, but it is not so smooth that it can move without tugging my eyelids. In fact, neither of them are so smooth that they can move without tugging my eyelids. In order to get a decent application, I have to pull my eye and apply it like that, which is very bad. Now that might just be me because I'm not used to using kajal style eyeliners on the top of my lid, but for me personally it doesn't work like that. It's not so smooth that it can just glide effortlessly like a liquid liner. It doesn't really work like that. Then it says that it contains more vitamin E and is gentle on the eyes. I don't know, maybe there's no real way for me to judge that. I can't test out the content of vitamin E in my kajals. And it definitely does not it does not create an intense line with 1 or 2 strokes on the waterline. I have to keep going over and over and over and over, and it does give me a black enough line, and it's not a bad kajal. Like if this was the only one that I owned, I would probably use it, but since it's not, I can afford to be a little more critical. So that's what it is. It says that it is extreme hold, 14 hours smudge proof, waterproof, and non-transfer. Wrong, wrong, wrong. This is definitely not 14 hours smudge proof. It's not even 4 hours smudge proof, because the moment I step out into the Delhi heat, or even back when I was at the hostel, the moment I would go to class, and where I lived, it was not so hot like Delhi. It gets hotter later, but then it starts to rain. So it was still not as hot as Delhi, and even then this would just smudge everywhere. It would be all the way down here, and it wasn't a cute look, you guys. So I don't like this one. I can afford to be very critical about my kajals because I own quite a lot of them. I think I own like 4 or 5 at the moment. So I don't like this one at all. I loved the old Kajal Magique because it didn't make any such claims, and overall it was a more satisfactory kajal. Moving on to the Maybelline Super Black. This says that with a light absorbing pigments, the formula delivers 2 times more blackness for double the intensity, for the boldest black look that enhances the natural color and shine of your eyes in a single stroke. I'm assuming that this is in comparison to the older Colossal. It definitely delivers more blackness. It's much more pigmented than the other one. Definitely, there is no doubt about that. Then it says that it is super smooth, enriched with oil for super smooth application. It glides on effortlessly and evenly to perfectly define eyes in one smooth stroke, while adding a rich glossy sheen to the color, result that lasts all day. Now, I don't think that it adds any gloss to the eyes because, as you can see, it's a pretty matte kajal. But I like that. I like matte kajals. I like matte eyeliners. I don't really like the glossy ones. So that's good. It is smoother than the older kajal. I didn't like that one at all. It was probably the worst kajal that I have ever used. That's my personal opinion, you guys. I don't mean to bash the company. You guys know how much I love Maybelline products, and I don't mean to tell you what you can like and what you can't. It's just my personal opinion. I didn't like the older kajal at all. But this one is definitely smoother. It says super lasting, waterproof, smudge proof formula, stays intense for 16 hours. Ophthalmologically tested. It is suitable for sensitive eyes and contact lens users. I don't know about the sensitive eyes or contact lens users, but it is definitely longer lasting than the L'Oreal one. This does not last for 16 hours, but it lasts easily for about 4 to 5 hours, sometimes even 6 hours, depending on the weather and depending on how sweaty or how oily my eyelids are. It lasts that long. It doesn't smudge. It stays where it is supposed to stay for at least my working hours. So once I'm back at home or back in the hostel or whatever, I don't care. But till then, it definitely does last as long as I need it to last while I'm outside the house or outside my hostel when I'm in class or when I'm out in the city, etc. So it does do me that much. It does well in that period of time. It doesn't move, it doesn't smudge, it retains its intensity, it stays where it is supposed to stay. It's great in that area. It says starting at the inner, it just tells you how to use it. Starting at the inner corner of the eye, draw a neat line along the waterline. Starting once again in the inner corner, add a bold stroke along the upper lash line, which is fine. It says that is pretty much the only claim that this makes, and so far I really do agree, especially when you compare it to the old one, which they all do. This mentions at the back that this is versus the Colossal Kajal, the previous one. So it definitely does live up to that expectation. And overall, I do suggest that if you are not able to decide which one to buy, I suggest you go for the Maybelline one and not for the L'Oreal one. And I mean, this one really is a very good kajal. I still have kajals that I like more than this. For example, I like my plum kajal a lot more than this. Of course, I love my Color Bar Just Smoky a lot more than this. But considering everything, considering how this is so affordable, it's just 300 rupees as opposed to that being 475 and the Color Bar one being 650. This is very, 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 very good as an alternative. And I have not actually purchased the Color Bar one yet because I have others that I like almost as much, and this definitely does the job for me. So I really, really, really do enjoy it. Overall, the verdict, I like this one a lot better than I like this one, and I do recommend you buy this. I suggest you skip this because I mean, it's more expensive and it's not as nice. So if you are definitely looking for a new one and you must buy one of these two, this is a great one to go for. So guys, I hope you found this review, this comparative review, informative. I have been trying to do this for a while, but sometime or another, something or the other comes up and I'm not able to shoot this video. But now that I have, I really hope that you found this useful. If you did, then please leave me a nice little comment telling me that you did. If you thought that I have missed something out, if you have some other questions, please leave it in the comments below and I will be very happy to answer them for you over there. If you have any future requests for me for tutorials or reviews of any kind, then please leave it in the comments below and I will try to do them as soon as I can. And with that, I think this video is over. So please follow me on all of my social media, my Instagram, Facebook, and I am now even on Twitter. So I have linked my social media handles in the description box. Please go check those out and please follow me everywhere. I would really appreciate it. Occasionally I do reviews on Instagram, mini reviews on Instagram, so those items I don't feature in reviews as a video because sometimes they're just, you know, not that, you can't really dedicate a whole video to that item, so I try to do an Insta review. I really enjoy those, and so far I've gotten a pretty great response from you guys over there also. So for those of you who are not following me there, please follow me, especially on Instagram, but now on Twitter and also on Facebook. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. I really hope that you're having a great day and I will see you next time. Bye.